Hey, hi all. Good morning, good evening, guys. Am I audible? Can anyone please confirm?
Yes,
Yeah, yes, sir.
Thanks for the confirmation. Okay, let's get started. My name is Manjunath. I have 7+ years of experience as an Oracle Apps developer. Okay, so I started my career as an software developer in Oracle. Then I have enhanced my skill sets, and currently I am working in Oracle Cloud. Okay, so this is my introduction, and going further, we will be going ahead with Oracle PLC SQL and PLSQL training. Okay, these 274 batch. So the batch that you are going through is 274. Okay, so if you have any uh, uh, regarding any documentation or regarding the course or the batch related information, you can drop an email to the support at the rate logiclabstech.com. Okay, and also you have an direct contact number where you can reach out to these contact numbers. So based on your localities, the numbers has been provided. So you can take a screenshot of this, or you can take a pic of this. So take a screenshot or pic. So what how this will be helping is that so when you are struck regarding any during this training, if you are struck anywhere regarding the documentation, or when you are if you are not able to join the session, or if you are struck with the joining of the sessions, or if you want any kind of support regarding 274 batch, you can drop an email or you can directly reach on to these numbers. Okay, this is how it will be helping. So first 5 sessions will be free. Then thereafter, we will be going with the enrollments. Okay, based on the enrollment, we will be going ahead with the batch. Okay, so it will be like it's not 9 a.m. batch. Actually, it is 8 p.m. batch. So it will be an 1 hour session every day, 8 to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. Okay, and the same timing will be continuing till the end of the session. Okay, so if everyone is comfortable, we can go ahead with the same timings, or we can go ahead and make the changes if based on the enrollments. Okay, so let's get started, as we are in the 274 batch, and that too the batch is for Oracle SQL and PLSQL. So anyone has idea what exactly the Oracle SQL and PLSQL, and how it will be helping in the IT career? If anyone has idea, just please go ahead. As this is an introduction, I just want to make everyone to be comfortable. No worries, even if you are, it's 243 batch, sorry. Okay. No worries, even if you are wrong, least bothered, please go ahead. Just a glimpse of what exactly Oracle SQL and PLSQL and how it will be helping, that we will be seeing in the coming sessions. But I just want to make sure that when you are enrolling for the batch, that I just want to know whether you are on the right track or not. That's it. Okay, guys, no worries, it's okay. So let's say, for example, let's say we are in the era of 20K, where we have the data that needs to be handled in a proper way. So let's say I have a data. I need this data to be handled or used in the further sessions. Like in future, if I have to use this particular data, if if I have if I don't have the data, then I have to start my career as a zero. So when I have the data, let's say for example, I am running a business, or else let's say I am starting something. So when I have to do something, or if I am starting a business, so if I have to store somewhere the data related to my business, or the data related to any of the products related to my product information, if I have to expose this information to my customers, or let's say I have to expose or else showcase this particular information to everyone around, or whoever is accessing this particular product. So I have to have a database. First thing first is that I need to have a database wherein which I need to store this particular information in my database, right? If I store some information in my database, I can use it somewhere in future. I can use it in future related to this product, or related to my business, or related to my customers, or else related to my suppliers. Anything, it can be of anything. If I have to showcase this particular product or the information about my organization, or related to my product, if I have to showcase to everyone, then I need to have a database. So this is where database is coming into picture. Okay, so no worries, it's okay. I can see that. Yes, these are beginner, don't worry, like these are beginner level classes that we are going with. We will be going with the starting from scratch, the two from the introduction, like at the beginner level, like what exactly the Oracle database is all about. Don't worry, database is nothing but a storage of information. Okay, the storage of information in some servers, that's it. Okay, so don't worry, like we will be having questionnaire at the end of 15 to 20 minutes. At the end, we will be having a questionnaire where we can go ahead, relate, you can go ahead and discuss, we can go ahead and discuss regarding your doubts. Okay, so let me go ahead with what exactly the database and all at the initial stage. Okay, so let's say you have to showcase your product, or else if you have to show related to your business, when you don't have a database, then you have to go ahead verbally, or else let's say I need to call you personally. Even for calling, I need to have your contact numbers, or else if I have to do some promotions, I need to have contact numbers of my customers, the targeted audience, right? If I have to do this, I need to store the information of my customers somewhere, right? If I have to store this particular information of my customer somewhere, then a database will be helping us. So the database is a powerful machine, where I can say a database is a powerful machine where we can store the data. Okay, manipulate the data, or update anything. We can delete the data. Okay, so for everything, database is the primary concept, I can say. Okay, so even if you are working in any of the technologies, either you are working in Java, .NET, anything, any of the database, any of the technologies that you can say, you name the technologies, without the database, you cannot go ahead with any of the technologies. Either if it is a Java, you need to have a database. So based on, like, if you want to develop a page, and if you want to showcase this particular website to someone, to whom you have to, what will be your targeted audience? If you want to show your targeted audience or promote to your targeted audience, you need to have a database where you need to store the data, or store the information of your product, right? So that is where a database will be helping. So in any of the organization, you name the organization, without the database, or without storing of the data, the organization will not be continuing forward. Okay, everyone clear about this? Or if you have any doubt regarding this, please let me know. I hope everyone is able to access chat, and you can ping all your doubts over here, where we can go ahead and discuss about it. Okay, so before going further, I hope everyone is comfortable with what exactly a database is all about, right? If you have any doubt in the mid, you can raise your hand, and make sure that you are in mute. Okay, so that we will not be disturbing others as well, or else the session will get interrupted. Okay, so this about the database. So let's get started. So in database, let's say in database, mainly we are targeting on Oracle, SQL, and PLSQL. So unlike there are other databases as well. Like for every product, there will be a competitors, right? Let's say, for example, if a product is successful, obviously there will be a competitors, where we will be seeing a different types of products which will be in the market. Same like that particular product, there will be other products also which will be coming into the market to make sure that they are also taking over the market. Okay, these in the IT, this is what a common thing where the revolutions will be going on. So before going through other products, we will be targeting majorly on the Oracle SQL and PLSQL. So once you are comfortable with Oracle SQL and PLSQL, then you can say that you will be comfortable with the other database concepts as well. Just a syntax, there will be a slight difference with the syntax. Okay. So what I can say is that Oracle SQL and PLSQL is a powerful tool where I can say that it is a powerful tool which is used to store the data in the database. Okay. So for any of the product, any of the like if you want to go ahead with any of the organizations, you will be seeing Oracle or any other database. There are a couple of other databases as well, which we will be discussing in the coming classes. But this session is majorly into Oracle product, okay, where we will be targeting only on the Oracle product, where within Oracle we will be discussing what exactly the SQL is, what exactly the PLSQL is, and how exactly the SQL will be helping in the database, and how exactly the PLSQL will be helping. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get into the is everyone comfortable with this the introduction, like what we have went across with SQL and PLSQL and Oracle product? Like if you have any confusion, please let me know, because once we start, or once we jump into this particular product, then the doubts, we will be getting couple of other doubts as well. So I don't want to have any of the doubts which will be having at the starting level. Okay, so when you are comfortable with the introduction, then I can say that you will be much more comfortable with the going for the classes. Okay, so this is all about the introductions about the database. Okay, let's get into the topic of Oracle product, Oracle SQL and PLSQL. So this product, Oracle product is developed by Larry Ellison, which is on 1977. So initially it was started with some experiment kind of thing, where they have done couple of research. Okay, so based on the researches, like it took 7 versions for the development. After the 7 versions, 8th version is released into the market for everyone. Only then everyone got to know, okay, there is a product called Oracle, which is used for the database purpose. Okay, so that where we can initially, like there was no database, where everything used to be happen with the verbal communication, or else they used to have pen and paper, where they used to write the information and then pass it on. Okay, so then thereafter, what happened when the Oracle database came into picture, then that's where the storing of the information came into picture. So that's where the like even the public IT organizations, everyone got into know that, okay, now we can store the information instead of paper. We can go ahead and make it a digital way. We can store the information in the digital format, that too in the database. So there were multiple versions which went on, like from after the 8th version, which is once it is released in the 8th version for the public and for the organizations to take over or use the versions or use the database, there were multiple enhancements which went on. So it started with 8i version, then 9i, which is nothing but an internet based communication which used to happen, the database and all. Then thereafter it went on grid. Then currently we are working on we are going through a C version, which is nothing but a cloud version. So there is no much difference with the versions, but only thing is that every product, whichever the version it went on, the enhancements and the better feasibility wherever there is a hurdle has been removed. So now we are in the era of cloud, right? So if you have to connect to any product, you don't have to install any of the database or else store the database in your machine. Directly you can go ahead and connect to the cloud version. So directly you will be having a link. To that particular link, you will be giving your username and password, wherein which you can directly connect to your database. Then you can use your product. This is where currently we are in. The cloud is nothing but, instead of storing the data, or else instead of installing everything, we can directly connect from the server to the server with the link, particular link, like where you can see, like, let's say for example, Instagram or any of the Facebook pages. You don't have to, like, currently we have an app, but apart from this app, if you have to connect to the database, you can directly connect to the site, where when a link is given, you can directly connect to that particular link, because that is a cloud based server that is getting accessed. The database is also cloud based. So as soon as you give your credentials, like username and password, then you will be directly connected to your profile. This is because the versions that is getting used, the database version that is getting used, is a cloud-based database. Okay, this is what the evolution. Like earlier, what used to happen is that whenever you want to learn some, if you have to use the database, then you need to first, organization needs to purchase a server set of servers, which is of a big servers, where you can say that based on the capacity or the data that you, let's say for example, couple of organizations will be having a less customer base or less database. So for that, they will be buying small sort of server. If it is a very big organization, let's say for example, if it is a Facebook or Google, YouTube, anything, so they will be having a customer base uh, of millions. So for, to make sure that there will not be any interruptions within this particular, whenever the customer is accessing to this particular profiles, they don't want to have any type of interruptions. So for that, what they will do, they will be buying a large set of a big set of servers, where these particular servers, they will be access, they can they will be dumping all their information into this particular servers, and from the servers you can access to a number of uh, like you can access that particular profile, or you can connect to a number of sites whichever they have. Okay, so this is about the introduction of Oracle SQL and PLSQL, where it started with 8th version. So we don't need to remember these versions and all, because no one will be going ahead and questioning what exactly 8th version, what exactly a 9th version is all about. They will be discussing about currently in which version you are and what is the use of that particular versions. Okay, so 8th version and 22 version, which is an evolution which had happened. Like we can say that enhancement, like whenever 8th version has been released, when if we come in general, if we discuss, so every product whenever it is released, if there are any kind of hurdles that we come across, so what we will do, we will make a development of that, we will try to enhance it, we will try to simplify the hurdle that we are facing, and whatever the difficulty that is there, we will try to reduce the difficulty, and make a better version of it and release it in the next whenever we come for a next release, we will go with the next version. That's it, right? So this is what it happened. So 8th version to 2022 version, what happened is that whenever a new release came into picture, the difficulties had been removed. So whatever the hurdles that we are going through has been removed, and a better version with a better user friendly, I can say developer friendly. So whoever works on Oracle product, right, Oracle SQL and PLSQL are called as an Oracle developers. Okay, so the database has went a developer friendly. Okay, and we as a Oracle developers, we can develop a much more better advanced product, and we can release into the market. Okay, so this is where this is what the introduction of Oracle SQL and PLSQL. Okay, now we got to know what exactly a database is all about, and what exactly the product of Oracle SQL and PLSQL is all about. Okay, so we will be discussing in much more detail. So as this is an introduction, we are just going ahead on the high level, like we are not touching, we are not going in and uh, touching about the difficult topics. We are just going on the high level, just to make sure that you everyone gets comfortable. Okay, once we are comfortable, then we can get into the we can jump onto the topics. Okay, so we will be discussing on the high level. So this is an introduction, so don't when you have any doubt, please clarify it. So we will be going on the high levels itself, so just to make sure that you get comfortable in Oracle SQL and PLC. Okay, So as I said, there are as I said, there are other products also, along with like every product has when a product is successful, there will be an other competitors as well. So just like Oracle database, for Oracle we have other competitors as well. For the from the Microsoft, there is SQL server. From IBM we have there is a database which is data DB2. And then we can see there is Teradata and PostgreSQL, NoSQL. These are a couple of other database products which has been released, but we will be targeting only on the Oracle product. Okay. So mainly on the Oracle product we will be discussing, and this is a different products where we will not be discussing about. Okay. So if you are comfortable with Oracle database, then I can say that you will get easy access, or you will be comfortable with other products as well, because Oracle database is that friendly or that easy to understand. Once you are comfortable with the syntax, then you will say that Oracle database is much more simpler, and you can use the same product, the same syntax or the same logics can be implemented in other products as well, because the Oracle database is that user developer friendly, I can say. Okay, it is very easy to use, and it is easy to practice, is easy to use, and it is easy to implement as well. It is Oracle product is just like a it will be just a straightforward, just like an English. So whenever we talk about something, then whenever you want to delete something, you will be using a delete command. Whenever you want to update something in the database, then you can use an update command. So there are a couple of commands which we will be discussing in the further sessions. Okay. So whatever the commands that you use, it will be very straightforward, and it will be very easy or catchy words that you can say. Okay. The commands will be that simple. When you understand the syntax, then that will be a very simple way, just like a formula. Whenever you are using a mathematics, okay, maths concepts, whenever we want to solve a puzzle or solve something, it will be just like a maths formula. Okay. So when you know the formula, you will be easy to solve the uh, uh, maths, right? The solution or the puzzle can be solved at an easy way. The same way, the Oracle product is also the same way. Like when you know the syntax, and the wordings, the nomenclature of like, let's say for example, the words or the names of the particular commands will be very straightforward. But if you know the syntax is nothing but a formula. We will be discussing for every command, there will be a couple of syntax which we will be discussing in the further sessions. Okay. So every concept we will be discussing about the formula first. Formula is nothing, syntax is nothing but a formula. Okay. First we will be discussing about the syntax. Then we will be discussing how it will be helping us to solve the I can say the solve the usage of that particular syntax. Okay. How it will be helping us to use that particular syntax. Okay. Just relate a syntax with a formula. So there is no that difficult thing. Okay. Syntax is nothing but a formula. When you know the formula, you can solve your puzzle. When you know the syntax, you can write your command in much more easy way. Okay. So every command will have a catchy words we will be discussing. Okay. There is nothing to think much about it. It's very straightforward and simple. Okay. So let's say, for example, as I said, like SQL, what exactly SQL is? SQL is nothing but, as we were discussing, we have come across, uh, so we have come across SQL and PLSQL. What exactly SQL? SQL, I am saying about SQL. So SQL stands for, SQL is nothing but, it is a structured query language. It is nothing but a structured query language. We will be discussing, like I will be saying in much more detail why we are calling it as a structured query language. Okay. You will get to know in detail about why it is named as a SQL. Okay. So as said, like SQL is a powerful database, which is a tool that you can say that it is used to store the data. So whenever you are storing the data in your database, or else let's say for example, if you want to store something in your database or else in your server, you cannot store directly just like that, right? So you have to write some information. when you write a command, information is nothing but a command. Okay. When you write a command, then the SQL Oracle product will understand what you are trying to do with that particular information, right? So let's say, for example, if I have to store my data, let's say, for example, I have to store data into my database, into my server or a database, let's say. I have to store, let's say, for example, let's go in this way. Let's say, for example, I am running a business, or else I'm running an organization where my targeted audience are customers. Okay. Or my customers, where every day, let's say, for example, I'm running an order based organization where I will be getting all the orders from the customers. So whenever I get an order from customer, I need to store this particular order information into my database, right? Somewhere I need to store my data into my database. Only then I will get to know, okay, this particular customer, there is a customer named, let's say, for example, Manjunath is a customer from particular location. His location is this, and he have ordered 3 products, right? So I have the name of a customer, I have the location of a customer, and I have his contact details, and I have the order information, like how many products he have ordered and where it needs to be delivered, right? I have this information. Now I have to store this particular information into my database. If I have to store this particular information into database, I need to write a command, right? When I write a command, only then data, whatever customer related information will be stored in my database, right? This command is nothing but this command will be written in the form of SQL. Okay. This will be written with the help of an SQL, which is nothing but SQL is nothing but a structured query language, where we will be writing a couple of commands to store this particular information into my database. Okay. So only after storing, if I have to do something, just by storing, I cannot do anything, right? Just by storing into my database, I cannot do anything. Either I have to retrieve it. What is the purpose of storing the data into my database? Either one of the reason is that I have to use it for a promotion purpose. Let's say the same example. Let's say I am running customer based product where I'm running with, let's say, order based. Now the customers, let's say, for example, it's been like 1 year that I'm running my business. So after 1 year, if I have to target my customers again, I have to go with the promotions. I have to drop an emails or text messages, or if I have to get a direct calling to that particular customers who have placed orders with my product from past 1 year. If I have to reach back to that particular customers with any kind of new promotions or new product, whichever it got released, if I have to inform them, if I have to inform them about my new product or new promotions that I'm going to do, or else, let's say, for example, as they are an existing or valuable customers to me, I have to promote them something, saying that I will be giving, as you are my existing customer, I am offering you a couple of coupon codes, discounts on the further transactions. If I have to promote this, I have to use my database, right? Just so far, I have stored my data, whatever the customer's data in my database. So just by storing of the data, I am not going to do anything. I have to use it somehow, right? So even while storing, my question is that why am I storing this particular customer's information in my database? The question arises, right? What is the purpose of storing my data, the customer's data in my database? Either for using them for the further purpose, right? For further, like, let's say, for example, after a couple of days, if I have to reach back to my customer and ask them how was the product, whether he liked it or not. Or else, let's say, for example, if I come across with if I am releasing a new product, I have to inform him, or else I have to inform them what exactly the product and how it will be helping them. So if I have to give all this information, I have to retrieve the data from my database, right? So retrieving, I have stored the data. Now I have to use it for some purpose. So that is nothing but a retrieving of that particular data. So even for retrieving, we have couple of commands. Okay, so we will be discussing about that couple of commands in the further classes. Okay, so for storing, even for storing the data in my database, I will be having a couple of commands that we will be discussing in the further session. Okay, so as this is an introduction, we are going on the general discussions. So just to make sure that everyone gets comfortable with the Oracle product and what exactly that we will be doing in the further sessions. Okay, so how it will be helping us in the how this Oracle product, Oracle database, SQL and PLSQL will be helping us, that we will be discussing, okay, in the further classes. So today we are going with on the high level, okay, just to make sure that you get comfortable within this particular SQL and PLSQL concepts, okay. So we will be discussing about PLSQL also. So just let's go ahead with an SQL, okay. So as I said, you like there are a couple of commands, right? So just give me 1 minute. So these, as I said, like let's say for example, I have to store my data in my database. I need to have, I'll be using a couple of commands. So let's say these are my customers. Let's say these are my customers. There are 3 customers where I need to store their name and their age. If I have to store there, I need to use a couple of commands in my database. So that we will be discussing. Okay. So now we have got to know, what exactly the database is all about, and what is the purpose of SQL and PLSQL, and why we will be using it, the SQL and PLSQL. Let's get into the deep dive of how this will be helping, and why the name it is named as an SQL. Okay, as I said, like SQL stands for structured query language, right? So a just give me a minute. Structured query language is nothing but what I can say that when you are trying to store the data in your database, like let's say for example, if you have to store the data in a database, if I store my data without any proper structure, like let's say for example, I am storing the data in my database, I have a database, and in that particular database I'm trying to store the data. So while storing the data in my database, if I am not storing the information properly, okay, I don't have the heading, I don't have the heading, and I'm just storing the information. Let's say for example, in the place of name, I'm storing the age of that particular customer. Okay, in the place of age for one customer, let's say for example, we go ahead like this. Just give me a minute. So let's say for example, I need to store this particular information. Let's say for example, name. So in the name, I'll be saying that Manjunath is one of the customer. Okay, if I store age as 30 and his contact number is something, okay, then his email ID is abc@gmail.com. Okay, whatever. Just okay. So now another customer came into picture. Now instead of in the place of name, actually this is meant for storing the name, right? So this is nothing but a column. Okay, this is nothing but a column where we will be saying name as a column, where usually we will be having a heading. I for just to make sure that for an example, I'm just not using the column names. Okay, so this is meant for storing the name, right? Instead of storing the name, if I store his age, saying that his age is nothing but 28 years. 28 years. Okay, now I'll be storing a name. Let me take a name from the audience. Let me say Dinesh. Okay, now instead of contact name, instead of his contact number, I'll be storing his something gmail.com something. Okay, now I'll be storing his contact number. Okay, I'm storing his contact number. Now again, another customer came into picture where I'm storing this particular customer information. Let me take another name. Instead of name, I'm storing his contact number. Some contact number, random number, I'm that I mean. Instead of age, this column is meant for storing the age, right? Instead of storing the age, I'm storing his email ID. Saying good. Okay. I'm storing his email ID just like this. And I'm storing his name. So all this I'm storing in my database. Okay. Now his age is something around 27 years. Okay. This is how I'm storing. Now, what I have done, I have stored the data of my customers. Now I have stored my data of my customers in my database. Now let's say, for example, I have to retrieve this particular information. If I have to, this is stored in my database. I have to get back the information of my customers. Let's say if I have to get the names of all my customers, what I have to do? I have to come manually if the data is not well organized, well structured. If the data is not well structured this way, what I have to do? If I have to get the details of my customers or the names of my customers, either I have to come manually, either I have to allocate one particular resource. I have to allocate one particular resource to make sure that check, print out all these informations and manually go ahead and pick up the names of the customers, arrange it in a proper way, right? I have to do an additional task. What if I come across with a new concept of storing the information in well-structured format? What if I store the information in a well-structured format? Let's say the same information, the same data, I'm not making any changes. What if I store the information in well-structured format? Let's say this information, I'm storing it over here in this way, where a name, age, sorry, just give me 1 minute. If I store the information this way, where in the name designated places, name, age, contact number, and then email ID. Okay, this is my column. This is my columns. A name is my column. A name is my column, where in which we will be storing all the rows of my customers. A rows information, where the rows, within the rows, I'll be storing all my customers related information in a well-structured format. I will be storing the information. So if I store, while storing itself, I'll be storing the name in a designated places where the name is occupied. Name needs to be occupied to. And I'll be storing the age where it needs to get occupied to. And if a contact number, where the contact number, it needs to get and sit in a place in the column of contact number. So where it needs to go ahead and sit in the contact number place, right? So I'll be storing that information in the contact number. And whatever his email ID is, I will be pushing the data into email ID column. So we will be discussing once again about the rows and columns. Don't get confused. Okay. So a column is nothing but which is a vertical part. Whatever the data that we are storing is called as a column. Okay. Whatever the horizontal one that you are seeing, it is considered as a rows in Oracle database. Okay. So now, if you see the difference of the data that I have stored, if you see the difference of the data that I have stored in my database, this looks a structured, well-structured format, right? So if you have to store the data in a well-structured format, that is where Oracle has given us a proper naming convention called as an SQL, where it is nothing but a structured query language, where in which we will be seeing all our information in a well structured format. So whatever the data that we want to store in our database, or whatever the things that we have to use it for the further purpose, the information will be stored in the database with a proper structure. And even when when we are using a commands in the in future, as an Oracle developer, if I have to use any commands in the organization, or let's say for example, whenever a task is given, if I have to use that particular, if I have to complete that particular task, we will be using the same set of commands. Okay, same set of commands, which is an well structured, I can say, an organized form, organized way of command will be given, where we will be using the same command with much more a better logical way, as per our business requirement, as per our requirement, we will be developing it. But while using the command, it will be same. Okay, wherever you use, whenever you use the same command in Oracle, will be same. Okay, that is where it is called as a structured. Either while using the command is a structured format, either while the data, while storing the data in our database, it is a well structured. So that is where it is related to both. It is called as a structured query language. Okay, whenever we are using a command, whenever we have to insert anything, we will be using an insert command. Okay, so you go to any project, whenever whatever the project that we are working, if I have to use any command for inserting the data into my database, let's say for example, I have to insert the data, the customer's information in the name column, so we will be using an insert command. Okay, the syntax will be well structured, and the data that will be stored in the database is also well structured. And whenever you have to do any updations within, let's say for example, I have to update this particular contact number. Let's say it's ABC1. Okay, my email ID needs to be updated. Yeah, it is stored as abc@gmail.com, where the email ID is not correct. I need to update it. So if it needs to come as ABC1, then what we will be using? We will be using an update command. This command, update command, will be common for any project that you go, wherever that you are using as an Oracle developer. When anyone asks you to do some manipulations, like if you want to do some changes in any of the column, then we will be using this update command itself. This command will be fixed. Okay, so whenever you want to delete some information, let's say for example, customer came into picture, and let's say for example, time period for this particular customer have been completed. Now I have to let's say for example, warranty that I'm giving a customer of 1 year, 1 year of warranty, and this particular customer 1 year of warranty, and 1 year has been completed, and this customer's product has been completed with 1 year. Now I have to remove the warranty of this particular company. I need to either update or remove this particular warranty, right? I have to remove this particular customer from the warranty period. So for that, I will be using a command called delete, where this delete command will be common and same for any project that you use, wherever you are using. If you are using an Oracle database, then the command will remain same, and well structured format that has been given by the syntax, by the Oracle syntax. It is a well structured. We will be following the same syntax whatever the Oracle has given. So it will be easy to follow, and it will be easy to understand, and it will be easy to use, and make it applicable within my project. Okay, this is what on a high level, like what exactly the SQL is, and what exactly the Oracle database is all about. Okay, so whenever you want to we will be discussing about in much more detail about what exactly, how exactly we will be storing the data. Let's say for example, if I have to store this particular information in my database, I cannot directly say to my database saying that store this particular information, right? I have to store it somewhere. So if I have to store it in my database somewhere, where you have to use? So database is a vast thing. So within that particular database, in a particular designated place itself, let's say if I am storing customer related information. So for that, what I will try to do, I will try to create a table. Okay, I will be going and creating a table named customer information. I'll be giving a table. I'll be creating a table called customer information. Within this particular customer information table, I'll be creating all these columns: name, age, contact number, email ID. Okay. So within that particular customer information table, I'll be giving a columns. Okay. Within that particular columns itself, I will be storing this particular informations. Whatever the information that I need to store of a customers, I'll be storing within this particular table itself. Okay. So all these we will be discussing in much more detail, but I just don't want to get in detail about it. We have as we have to understand first. I'm just giving a glimpse of this information. Okay. So this is about we will be discussing in much more detail how to insert the data, how to create a table, how to organize the table in a much more structured way with couple of columns, whatever the designated columns. Let's say, for example, I have to make sure that my data needs to sit in a table in much more organized way. We will be discussing it how it can be done in the further classes, as we are running short of time. So what we can do, we can go ahead with a questionnaire for today. Let's stop for today, as we have 5 days of demo session. We can go ahead with the 5 classes. Okay, for in much more in detail way. Okay. uh, any doubts, please go ahead. If you are today's session, if you are confused in any of the place, like if you want to know in detail about that, please go ahead. We can go ahead and discuss. Anyone has any doubt, please be comfortable, as this is an introduction. You can ask any of your doubts. I hope I have given access to everyone to unmute. You can go ahead and unmute now. Yes, please go ahead. You can, if you are, yeah, we will be sharing the recording. If you are, if you want, you can type in the chat. I will be responding to that. We will be sharing all the recordings related to our classes, whatever the class that we will be going ahead, even in the further classes, even the documents, like I will be sharing all the documents, even the slide that we have seen, right? Even this slide also will be shared to all our students. Okay. We will be sharing it. No need to worry about it. The documents will be shared, even like every topic that we will be discussing in further, right? Even that information also will be shared. Yes, please go ahead. So regarding installation, we will be sharing a document, a set of instructions how to install the document. Okay, it is very simple. Like hardly it is 2 to 3 steps. Where if you follow those 2 to 3 steps, the database will be stored in your mission, and you can go ahead and practice. So I will be guiding, even that will be guided in after a couple of sessions, but I don't want to show it now itself, because you will get confused with what exactly that we are doing. Okay, the product and related information, navigation related within the product, and how to access it, and how to go ahead and get comfortable with the Oracle product, that will be given information in the further sessions. Okay. So there is no much difference between other products and our product. As you are saying that what is the main difference based on the product, like every product has their own importance, right? So the command remains same, database remains same, but only thing, database will be differing. Only thing is that where the usage of this particular database will be differing. Let's say, for example, I am when I'm trying to use Oracle database. Let's say, for example, Oracle database will be used in everywhere. Wherever the project that you mentioned, the Oracle database will be there. So let's say, for example, if they have to go ahead with a lightweight database, wherein which they will be using where they for this particular product. Let's say, for example, some clients will be developing their project in .NET. right? When they are developing .NET comes under Microsoft. So Microsoft has their own database. So mostly they will be preferring their own database to use, or else they can go ahead and use our Oracle database as well. So that is the main difference. If you are developing the project in Java, so Java uses Oracle database. So whenever they have to use for the front end, whatever the design that has been done, if I have to access that particular data from the backend, so Oracle comes under the backend, okay, where no one will be seeing what exactly the front end persons will never go ahead and see what exactly is happening on the backend, okay. So database comes under the backend where it is a primary thing, where I can say that database is a primary thing where even when, let's say for example, you have designed a front end page, well good looking database page, a well looking page, front end page. So if you don't have access to your database, it will not be retrieving any of the data, right? It will not be showing you any data into the front end. Let's say for example, if I have I am to a bike showroom. Let's say, for example, I have went to a bike showroom wherein I purchased a bike. Okay. I purchased a bike. I will be giving my contact number, or else let's say, for example, my bike number, registration number, if I give, he have to get all the information of my bike related information, right? When he have to get all that information, the front end page needs to get connected to my database, right? Only then he can he will be able to fetch all that information from the database related to my bike. So who is the owner, what is the registration number, when it got purchased, and what is the who is the sole owner, and what is the contact number, what is his email ID. All this information needs to be retrieved from the database itself. So if a database is a well structured and stored in a proper way, he will be able to retrieve the correct information. So then he can display it in his front end page, right? This is where a difference between a database comes in when compared to database and other products. So they will be using their own products based on their usage. So rest others, everything is same. Like you can, the purpose of the database is same for everyone. Uh, we will be discussing about this for the MacBook that you are using an Apple, where for the Apple, we will be asking to connect from the server directly, okay? Or else we will be asking to install a virtual machine where MacBook doesn't support to install directly the Oracle product. So you have to install a virtual machine which will be guided, or else you can directly access to the cloud version of, you can we can I'll be guiding you how to create an account in the Oracle page where you can go ahead and practice it over there. And anyone has any doubt, please go ahead. I can see a couple of them are pinging over the chat. I want everyone to speak up so that you will be comfortable. Please go ahead, no worries. I can see Bala, you are in unmute. You want to speak something?
Sir, what is the difference between SQL and PLSQL, sir?
Okay, so we have not much more went into that. So a major difference we'll be discussing in the coming session, but on the high level I can say that SQL is a basic version of the commands, okay? So when you want to write a logic of that based on this particular SQL, when you want to write a logic, complex logic, so where in which SQL is not supporting, then we will be writing our command in the form of PLSQL, where in which if we have to store my entire logic, the code that I have written, let's say for example, I have written 1,000 lines of code with a couple of logics as per our business project requirement. Okay.
Okay.
As per project, I have written a couple of logics. Let's say, for example, a requirement is that first I have to calculate the height. Based on height, I need to calculate the length. Okay. Based on
Okay.
length, I have to calculate the weight. So at the end, I have, by following all the logics as per the project requirement, I have written a logic. Okay. After writing the logic, if I have to store the entire information in one place, So this everything writing in SQL will not be sufficient. So what we will try to do, we will create our own logics. Okay. Based on our logics, we will be creating a PLSQL code, where in which this code will be stored in the database and you can use it n number of times. Okay.
As per the customization of the project.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
logics will be written in the PLSQL format, and that logic can be stored in my database. And whenever I need, I can go ahead and use that particular logic.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. Understand.
That is the simple way I can say. But in much more detail in coming session, we will be discussing in much more detail. Okay.
Okay.
There are a couple of concepts for PLSQL. Anyone others?
Can we use the same in MyATP database also, right? These queries.
MySQL.
Yeah, PLSQL course. I think we can use for MyATP database, right?
You mean
My-
okay. So you can use this. I can say that see, every product has different kind of their own different kind of commands. Okay, but the most of the commands I can say this MySQL is a different product which comes from the Microsoft, and this SQL and PLSQL comes from the Oracle. Okay, there are two different products. Okay, so we cannot compare both the products, but only thing is that they are used for usage of storing the data in the database. And I can say, as per my experience, I can say that 80% of the coding remains similar when compared with Oracle SQL and MySQL. Okay, but only here and there the syntax will be differing. The command will be differing, but the usage of that particular syntax will remain same.
Thank you.
So we will be discussing more about Oracle product itself, because Oracle product is much more easy and in a high demand way. Okay, it is a demand it is on demand concept and product, I can say. So we will be discussing much more. Okay. Anyone, any doubts, please go ahead. If no doubts, we can wind up the session. Let's catch up tomorrow on the same time. We can catch up on the same time. So we have 5 days for the demo. We will be covering every concept one by one and in the coming session, but on the high level, to make sure we get comfortable, we will be discussing only on the high level. We will not be discussing in much more detailed way. Okay, we will be discussing what exactly the product is, why exactly we will be using that product. Okay, and where it will be using and how it can be used. All that information we will be discussing on the high level. So once you are comfortable with everything within the demo sessions, then we can go ahead with the actual practice or actual commands. We will be jumping into the actual commands. Okay. So it is an 273 batch where you can go ahead and reach out. Again, once again, I'm repeating this. You can go ahead and reach out to the support@logiclabstech.com. Okay. If you need any support, or else you can directly reach out to this particular contact numbers, where the support team will be guiding regarding the documentation, regarding the registration, regarding the if you want any kind of support regarding the installation, you can reach out to this particular contact numbers, or else to this email ID. So everywhere it is covered. Like, you can reach out if you are comfortable in dropping an email, you can drop an email, or if you are comfortable in reaching out to the contact numbers, directly reach out, and it will be helping us in solve. It will help us to resolve the issue that we are facing. As this is already 8 o'clock, usually the support team will be there till 7 to 8. Tomorrow I will be confirming. When you have tried to reach, can you please speak up, or anyone?
Yeah, I tried in the daytime only.
Okay, you tried.
But still I didn't get any response from none of the numbers.
Okay. So you have any of this contact number? Have you tried?
Yes, I do.
Which one?
I tried all three except the USA number.
Okay. Sure, sure. Okay, no worries. Maybe some stuck with this new batch. Okay, so they must be busy in arranging this particular batch. So what we can do is that I will reach out to the support team. Mostly, like you can reach out anytime from 9 o'clock to 5:30. I can say in the IST timing. Okay, or
Sure.
else between this timing, if uh, I will check out, I will recheck once again, like what went wrong or where it went, where it went delayed. Okay, for attending your
Sure.
call.
Thank you.
And if you want to drop an email, please drop an email with saying that it is you are with the 273 batch.
You mean in the support email ID, to use the support email ID?
Yes, if you want to
Okay.
drop an email, if you want, even for the contact also, if you want to contact directly when you contact, right, please inform
Mhm.
them you are inquiring related to information 273 batch. Okay,
Sure.
so there are other batches as well. Even when they attend, they will be asking for which batch you are discussing about. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
that
was
is
aware of it because I attended the AWS course, so I
okay.
know the format of your
Great.
company.
Great. Others also, please make sure
Thank
that
you.
whenever you want to discuss, just inform them you are related to 273 batch, Oracle SQL and PLSQL. Only then they will be addressing the exact for the exact solution. Okay. So if you want to have any document, if you want to know the any document, obviously you have to inform for which batch you are discussing about. Else they will be sharing other batch related information. So there will be a miscommunication. Okay, please note down this particular contact number on the email IDs. Once again, I'm repeating, please take it out. We will be having 5 demo sessions where we will be discussing only about the introduction of SQL and PL/SQL and the product of SQL and PL/SQL related information, and then we will be jumping in much more in detail about that particular product and how to use the product and how to get comfortable with the Oracle product. That information will be shared. Okay, going for the classes. And if anyone has any doubt, please let me know. Please ask, or you can ping over the chat. Else we can wind up the session. Let's catch up tomorrow on the same time. Thanks for joining, guys. That was a good session. Anyone, please let me know.